We got a Butcherbox order earlier this week, and I just wanted to tell you a little bit my thoughts on Butcherbox. We've been getting it for like 3 years now. We get the custom big box, which is about $300, and I think we have it coming every 6 to 8 weeks. So for reference, we have 6 kids, but only 4 of them are living at home right now. So we've got a college student, and then we've got an infant, and so neither of them are at home consuming meat. But anyways, I just wanted to tell you that we have really liked Butcherbox. This is not sponsored in any way. This quantity of meat seems to last our family pretty well for a few months. We normally do also buy some bacon at Costco, and occasionally we buy like frozen, pre-formed, but they're not cooked yet, patties from Costco. But anyways, I was showing you what we like to order. We normally like to get the grass-fed flank steak, and I'll slice that thin and make like a Mongolian beef sauce with gluten-free soy sauce, brown sugar, garlic powder, a little bit of ginger, a little bit of cornstarch, and then maybe some chicken broth to thicken that up. That's really good with rice. We get a lot of chicken breasts, but I also like to get these whole pasture-raised heirloom chickens, and I'll thaw those in the refrigerator and then cook them in the Instapot, and then I use the bones to make stock. And then this time I also added in a couple of the member deals of like different varieties of sausage, because with a busy season upon us of school started and sports and all the other things that are going on in life, I really like the idea of sheet pan meals. So I love to do like a base of sweet potato or russet or golden potatoes, and then chop up some sausage on top, toss it all together with a little bit of oil and salt, and put it in the oven and have a good basis for a meal. My son, who is 10, absolutely loves the dry ice that comes in the Butcherbox. He'll put it in this pot and then add water to it, and it kind of emits this fog that he plays with. You can get a measuring cup, like a metal measuring cup, and almost like scoop out the fog and pour it. So that's a lot of fun. Another thing we get a lot of in our Butcherbox order, in addition to the flank steak, the whole chicken, the chicken breast, is we get a lot of ground beef because it thaws really quickly. We do like a lot of tacos. You could add like cooked crumbled ground beef to marinara sauce and have it with spaghetti. We also really like to make Cincinnati chili, which is like a unique no bean chili with kind of different spices. So you'll do like a can of tomato paste, some unsweetened baker's chocolate, cinnamon, clove, allspice chili powder, cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, chicken stock, and then you just kind of let that simmer for a while, and you serve it over spaghetti with some shredded cheese. So that's something that we really like to do. In addition, if we have a lot of ground beef, sometimes I'll like cook it and season it like Southwestern style. Use paprika, oregano, cumin, onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of chili powder, salt, and then add a can of enchilada sauce and grate up like 8 ounces of Monterey Jack cheese. And then sometimes add in some diced green chili just from a can, and then some frozen corn. I'll mix that all together, and then I'll mix up some cornbread batter and then spread that on top, and then put the whole thing in the oven and bake it for a while. So anyways, it's fall, and I am feeling inspired to decorate for fall. So I already got out my fall wreath for the front porch, and some leaf motif pillow covers for the front porch furniture. And then I put these wreaths around our planters, and then set pumpkins in the middle. I'll have to show you a picture. That would be probably more helpful than me describing it. But I had some very spring-like artwork in this frame, and I wanted to find something that could work well for fall, winter, and really just all year round. So I found this painting. It's like birds kind of soaring through a sunny golden blue sky with some clouds, and I thought that would be perfect for all seasons. And then but if I want to do my pink flower specific poster art for the spring, I can get that back out too. So I put this in the frame, and then I hung it up, and then I realized that the glare from the is not glass. I think it's some sort of plastic. I'm not sure what it is. kind of made the painting less visible. So I hung it up here, but then later I took the painting back out and I put it in the front. So it was printed on canvas paper, which I've never heard of, but it feels like canvas, and it was rolled up. It came in this rolled up cylinder. I got it from Etsy, and I can put in the description box where I found it. But I think it's really pretty. It was very inexpensive. This is a quite large frame. I want to say it's like 36 by something, and the artwork was only, I think it was like $60. So I feel like that's pretty good. Anyways, it's been a really, really busy week with all of our homeschool co-ops starting, and then, you know, there have been a few things that have been going on, like, I can't share much about it, just, you know, within our family that's been challenging and taking a lot of, like, mental energy, but also time and physical energy, and I feel like it's just been go, go, go nonstop in our house for a while. But on this particular day, it was, we really didn't have much planned, and when those days come, I feel like they're just such a blessing and just this much needed respite. So while everyone was occupied, I decided to just come outside and snip some flowers. So we have these lime green zinnias, which are such fun to grow, because literally all I did is I opened the package, sprinkled them in the soil, and then kind of watered them one time, and that was about it. And they've popped up and been pretty prolific in the sunny patch on the side of our house. So I really like this lime green zinnia, particularly in combination with these bright pink dahlias. The dahlias I bought as tubers at Costco early in the spring, and I just put them in the ground, watered them, and then they've really just taken off. I got several different varieties, so I added some of these like really huge dark purple ones too, and I just brought them in and put them right in the middle of our island, and so I got that done, and that felt good, because one of my favorite things is to have fresh flowers through the summer from our garden, and I haven't done it a whole ton, not as much as I would like to. We had a baby in May, and I've been basically just breastfeeding since then. Just kidding, but mostly I've been doing a lot of breastfeeding. So anyways, this is my sweet 10-year-old son, and all my boys are wonderful with the baby and with the toddler. I feel like if you have gruff teenage or preteen kids, you should give them a couple baby sisters to really bring out all their wonderful qualities. So then while the boys were working on some of their independent schoolwork, the 2-year-old was very inspired to learn how to draw a rainbow, which turned out to be she wanted to watch me draw a rainbow. So I guess she just wanted to see what that process looked like. So it was fun to sit down with her and work on that for a little bit. You can see the baby thinks it's time to eat again. So anyways, we worked on colors, and I was trying to demonstrate the concept of coloring within the lines. We haven't done too much work together on coloring, but I thought it might be a good time to just introduce the concept of coloring within the lines. And then we had a big spit up disaster, so it was time to put on a fresh outfit for the baby and get a fresh diaper on. So we did that, and then our toddler is potty training, and something that we discovered that's really super helpful is well, obviously to have a waterproof mattress protector, but also we have 2 twin beds in her room, because eventually our little baby, you know, will move into the room with the toddler, and when she's ready for a big girl bed also. But right now, obviously, she's still in a crib. But the nice thing about that is, as we're doing this, you know, working on keeping underwear dry over the nighttime, if there is an accident, it's great, because we have the other bed that she can go in if I don't have time to get the laundry done and get the bed remade. But anyways, while both of these girls were happy, and as nap time was approaching, I thought I would strip the bed that needed to get washed, and I lay the baby down next to the toddler. They're just like a couple feet away from me, and they're safe our little baby isn't rolling over yet. Well, actually, that's not true. She just learned how to roll over from her belly to her back. She's only done it once in the past few days, but now we know she can do that. But on her back, she cannot roll over yet. She can't really scoot far. And my toddler is entertaining herself and the baby a little bit. She has all these, we call them gems. I don't think they're really gems, but you know, different minerals that are really beautiful. I don't know the names of all of them, but the boys have collected them over the years and, you know, received them as gifts. There was a point where I ordered like a box of different minerals, I think on Amazon, and that was kind of like the boys could earn them for doing chores or things like that. But while the toddler and the baby were on the other twin bed, I got this bed made up with fresh mattress protector, sheets, and a little blanket. And it was time for my toddler's nap. So I brought the baby over because she was starting to feel a little lonely over there in the bed. And our routine for getting to bed, I try to keep it really, really short and sweet so it's sustainable and not frustrating. So we typically do one short song, and then if it's nap time, we'll do a pretty short prayer. And then if it's bedtime, we might pray a little bit longer. And then we turn on the white noise machine, which is on that blue dresser right next to the bed, or I guess it's in between the two beds. And then I walk out the door. And then one time, like months ago, I was kind of frustrated, and so and our toddler was kind of in a grumpy mood. She wasn't sure she really wanted to take a nap, and I felt like we were on this precipice. Like, she might be able to turn the corner and be happy and go to sleep, or she might get really upset that I was leaving the room and start crying. So kind of to break the tension, I was silly and I blew a raspberry at her, and she thought it was funny, and it was effective. It did break the tension, and she was able to laugh and then lay down with a happy attitude and go to sleep. But now that's part of our routine, is that as I'm walking out the door, I have to turn around and blow a raspberry. So now we're all stuck doing that. So as soon as I got my toddler down, I noticed that our baby was getting a little bit tired. So I had already fed her and changed her. And so I'm kind of trying to help her get into the routine. She's almost 4 months old now, of putting herself to sleep while she, from being awake. Because I've noticed that she is able to do that. We've done this on and off really since she was a couple weeks old, just kind of trying to gradually introduce this idea. But we've noticed that sometimes if we're holding her, she'll start sucking on her fingers and closing her eyes. So I sang to her a little bit, walked her around, put the white noise machine on, and then laid her down, and she did put herself to sleep, which has been wonderful, because we're getting to the point where if I wear her in the baby carrier or the wrap, she just doesn't get great sleep. When they're newborns, that's the best sleep that they get is contact napping, and you can kind of walk around and get some things done and attend to the other children. But our baby's just reaching the point where she really gets better sleep up in her bed, by which I mean either the pack and play or the crib. So I'm trying to discipline myself to notice when she's starting to get to the point of being still calm but ready to sleep, and then taking the time to go up and do our routine of just singing a little song, walking around and bouncing, and then laying her down awake and letting her just drift off to sleep and have a good nap. So next I'm getting out another kind of fall craft that I have planned, which is really, I ordered this heirloom pumpkin chart from Etsy, and I can put the link in the description box in case you like it and want to get it for yourself. I have several picture frames in the living room and then also in the bathroom that's just off the living room, and I really thought it would be fun to, for the fall, put these different pumpkins in the picture frames. So I have some substantial art paper. I think it's marker paper that we had that we've collected over the years from doing all sorts of arts and crafts together. So my idea is that I was going to cut out each of these pumpkins and also the label, because each of the varieties of pumpkins is labeled, and then center it in the middle of each frame. So in the end I'll have several framed pumpkins, and I like the way that they look. Have kind of like a graphic statement. But anyways, my husband was finally able to be done with work for the evening, and I am exercising. I'm trying to exercise 5 days a week. My friend and I, we're doing the Caroline Gervan Iron Pro series together. It just started, and so I really have not been prioritizing at all exercise for like the last 2 years, just about. Basically, like when I was pregnant with my toddler, I felt very sick, as many people do in the first trimester, and weak, and so I kind of just let go my habit of exercising frequently, which really makes me feel good generally, but I just kind of let it go. And then once she was born, it wasn't easy to start back up again, and then when she was kind of in a rhythm of having good naps and stuff, I became pregnant with our baby, and then I went through that whole process again of not feeling well, and then attending to a toddler and all of those things. So I want to be strong, and I want to have lots of energy, and so I'm trying to get back into the routine. So doing this little challenge with my friend is helpful. So I got an exercise in, and then my husband took the baby and the toddler outside, and I was having a little dinner. So I wanted to show you, like, that's what a real man looks like. They're holding babies and toddlers, and I was able to get some dinner. So I wanted to tell you that I made the 2 whole chickens in the Instant Pot. I just added some salt and some water, pressure cooked it for 2 hours, and then it was easy at that point, while it was all still warm, to like discard the skin, and then I picked the meat off the bones and put them in a 9x13 casserole dish, and then stored that in the fridge. And then I put the bones back in the water and added some leftover celery and an onion that we had, and I slow cooked that for a day, and then I strained that off and put the stock in quart-sized Ziploc bags and froze those, so we have great stock whenever we need it. And then we had a bunch of chicken in order to build meals. So anyways, that's what those the pumpkin art looks like. And then I'll show you in the bathroom over here. I had a few extra. They were like smaller pumpkins, and I felt like several of them fit well inside those frames in the bathroom. And then I wanted to show you also what it looked like. I ended up taking that painting out, and I stuck it in front of the glass or the plastic or whatever it is. So now there's no glare, you can see it a lot better. So I'm happy with the result. I think it looks much better. Thanks for joining me for the day. I hope to see you next time. Bye.